JD, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe, please hit like, please stop fighting out there. Let me put my hood up. There, we got some attitude today. Attitude. So I got myself some attitude, but I've also got myself a very beautiful Hamilton watch. It's not in a great case, but it's okay. So it's a metal case. Let's have a look at it and see what we can do with this watch. So first thing I do with a watch is I take the hands off so nothing gets ruined. So we're going to rip this watch apart and clean it and regulate it and do all kinds of stuff on it. So this is a lever set watch. I got to pull the lever out with my thumbnail, and I'm moving all hands to deck, all hands to 12 o'clock. I got two cameras running here today. I got another camera stand that's looking above. It's like it's my God camera. So it runs from above so that you can see like what is happening at different angles. Perhaps we'll see if it matters or if it's just a distraction. So, but I'm going to lift this the arms off this watch. But I need a piece of paper here. To be a good boy. So there we go. There's my piece of paper, and plus I need to put my glasses on, the right glasses. See, these glasses are so big they make me look old. I think I need to have little tiny glasses because that's the Amazing Kreskin glasses. I don't know if you guys remember the Amazing Kreskin, but up here in Canada, the Amazing Kreskin was #1 TV show from 1970 to 1975. And if Kreskin's watching out there, how you doing? He's still alive and still kicking and still amazing. So I remember meeting him once and asking him that it's amazing that his first name was the same as kind of his act. His first name is The Amazing. He thought that was humorous. Not sure if he just said it to me to make me feel good. I'm just going to go all active today and all live. No clipping over. I hear if you do 3 seconds per frame, then all of the kids under 20 years old will watch your videos. Because they all have ADHD, ADD, HED, LMNOP, QRSTD. No, STD is not good. Oh my God. So this watch, I'm just going to put the case on just a little tiny bit here and flip it over. And I already got this case open. It was fun, but I managed to get it open, and it's a Hamilton watch. Let's see if there's any jewels in this thing. Ah, look at that. There is, and it's ticking. Not ticking well, but it's ticking, which is nice. It's a 17 jewel Lancaster. So it's got raised settings, and tomorrow that mid setting there, the center wheel setting is raised. I was working on a 23 jewel watch, and I think the third wheel jewel setting was poop, and I had to make a new setting. I'm pretty proud of that job. And tomorrow I am going at 1 o'clock, going to be presenting to a bunch of watchmakers on how to make a jewel setting. So let me just take some power off this thing. How to make a jewel setting. So let me just turn the light on the camera. Look at that, eh? Look at that. It's amazing. So how to make a jewel setting. I've made a few, not a ton, but I know the technique, and if you fail, you can start again. That's the good thing about making a jewel setting. You can never really fail. So fail army. So I'm looking at this watch here, and it looks like this screw here is higher, and it's a different type than this screw here. I can put down my watch hand taker offers. So I know I watched the gentleman who runs a channel called Wrist Watch Revival. Try to say that 3 times or spell it. And he obviously does a good job, but he makes me very nervous because he's always dropping his tools and he's always dropping parts. So I've seen him do work. You guys can comment on whether you think that he drops tools and parts. He does a good job. I can't say he's not a good watchmaker. He has a really nice, good channel. He gets like 1 million views per video, which is not even close to what I'm getting. I'm getting like, on a good day, 800 views. So that's because I talk too much. So this guy is out viewing me like crazy, but I don't do this for the views. I do this because I like watchmaking. And I like to help others. So I saw these two screw heads. One of them is flat. That screw head is F-L-A-T. That's flat. This screw head is slightly domed. D-O-A-O-M-E-D. You see that? If I have the opportunity, I'll flip that screw head for a different one. I can also flatten it. So, but it might not be necessary. So it's just something I could do though. So that's that. This is lever set. I tried pulling out this crown, but you don't pull the crown out on a lever set watch. Some of them you do, but a lot of them you don't. So it's not of any consequence. So I think I'm going to put a glove on for this. Oh, wait now. I'll be cleaning it, so I don't care. So I'll be cleaning it, and it should strip all the fingerprints off. Because I don't want watchmakers 100 years from now looking at this watch and saying, hey, I think that's JD who worked on this. What the hell? You know what? I do want a glove of some sort. I just want to dump this watch movement like that. So there it is. It's a beautiful movement, even though it's a 17 joule movement, so it's not a really high-end movement. But man, it's purty. That watch movement is purty. So I'm going to get out so I've made this one here, get this off of here. And it's a little dusty looking, but it's not dusty. So I made this, and I'm pretty proud of it. And I was into creating things a while back, so I need to take a piece of Rodico and just basically Rodico this so it's get a little bit of the dust off it. I can also blow it with a can of dust removing stuff, right? So if you pay attention, you'll hear me doing this. So get some dust off. I always have a can of this stuff around. Here it is here. Now what's this called? Dust something. If you look down below, dust off. Yeah. Dust off, and you just spray it like that. And you gotta make sure there's no watch parts on your desk when you're spraying with dust off, because it'll take your friggin' parts and make them fly. So the first thing I want to do on this watch here, I'm just going to remove the balance, get it out of the way, and then I'll remove the face, and then we'll be ready to start working on the watch. So first thing is the balance. And be very careful when you're removing the balance. Make sure that you pay attention to where things are. It's funny when you put these watches back together again. Come on. This screw is in like, holy jeez. When you put things back together again, you got to keep an eye on the hairspring here so it doesn't ride on top of the center wheel. I've done that a few times over the years. I try not to do it a few times. See, and I've got this little jar here on my holder here. Look at that. Isn't that cute? And that holds stuff. And then in the back of this watch, as you can see right there, there's a groove. So this watch would be considered groovy. You got to pause when you make humor. You got to pause. So you put your screwdriver in there and you twist it like that. And then that should allow me to grab here very carefully, tilt the movement, and take out the balance. Look at that skill. Amazing. Now I can rest this balance on the minor knobby here, which takes all the weight off of the watch, but it might be too low. I don't know. Is that too low? You know what? That's fine. So that takes all the weight off the spring. So now I've got the balance just sitting there, and I'll service that later. So we'll just put that aside and somewhere where I'm not going to hit it with my elbow, because elbows and watches don't work well. So I find that if I use my yellow screwdriver and I start removing the face, all things are good. Let me get back in 1 millisecond. I'm back. That was actually 1 millisecond. Now, just to advise you, I'm going to be welding on, soldering on a dial foot on the watch I just sent through the cleaning machine. So I emailed the gentleman whose watch it is and told him that I'm starting to work on your watch. This is his other watch. So he's going to be very happy I'm working on both watches today. So this watch may not need as much work as the previous watch. The other watch needs a boatload, which is just slightly more than a shitload of work. So the other watch has got all kinds of stuff happening. I need to actually replace the dart on the pallet fork mouth opening. So I got to do some dart work. I'm trying to keep my fingies off the dial. Fingies off the dial, boy. Keep your fingies off the dial. Got the grandkids over today, and they're out with my wife doing some adventure stuff, probably hunting for snakes or something. They're like, hey, Grandpa, do you want to go do that? I was like, yeah, you realize I can't walk, eh? I got a shitty hip, and I'm trying to still take care of it so that I can get it replaced by the shitty hip replacement department up here in Canada. Just walking my way around here. This does a little bit of whack-a-mole when you're taking the dial off. So one part rises up and the other part goes down again. So you just have to put up with the whack-a-mole and just deal with it, right? So there's the dial. Going to move that out of the way. And you know what? I want to put those dial screws back in. I took them out too far and they all fell out. And I'm doing that because I don't want to lose them. And if you take them out and don't put them back in, you're likely going to lose them. So just put them in and screw them in snug. Not tight, snug. And there's one. There's the second one. Look at that. Oh my God, look at that. Oh my. That's my David Letterman. Oh me, oh my. Oh me, oh my. There are some people that actually said your impressions aren't too bad. But I do a good wow. Wow. All right, who's that? Well, actually, the grandkids are over and they love Bugs Bunny. So I put on the old vintage Bugs Bunny on YouTube with all the violence that they don't allow you to watch nowadays. So all the kids are meaner. So I used to get all the violence out of my system by watching Bugs Bunny. And the Roadrunner basically causing Wile E. Coyote to beat himself up, which I thought was pretty funny as a kid. And I still think it's funny today. So I'm going to take off the hour wheel here. There it goes. Put that aside. And if I can take the minute wheel off, I'm going to do that as well. Lately, I've been leaving this installed so I won't break anything. I can hear kids approaching. So if I'm lucky, I can just lift this up. And then if I'm unlucky, that happens. Back. So the unluckiness, I've got my jaw for removing this. What is this called, you ask? I don't know. I'm just a watchmaker. What do you think it's called? There we go. It's the cannon pinion, folks. The cannon pinion. Probably because it looks like a cannon. Right, that's why. This is what it looks like up close. There is the cannon pinion. So one of the last videos I made was widening the diameter of the cannon pinion, and I have tools that actually narrow the cannon pinion. I saw actually years ago on a British cannon pinion, I did use a hair to tighten one up. Don't tell anybody. That's top secret stuff. So some people were saying, JD, I don't know how you can talk and do watch repair at the same time. I can talk and do anything at the same time. Know why? Because I was built as a talker. So when you put this back in this number 58 movement holder, make sure that the lever for the lever set movement isn't squished like it is right there. So just lift it up, move it around so it's out of the way. And is that squished? No, it's not. But just to make sure it doesn't get in any way, I'm going to make sure it sticks out on this side. And because you don't want to squish that because it's needed. And I'm hoping you folks out there have successfully found the number 58 movement holder. So just an update on the Bridezilla. It's a Bride of Frankenwatch, and it is running well. It's keeping time. Oh my God, that's an update for Phil Irish out there, whose watch this is. Very nice gentleman. I fixed it once. The impulse jewel jumped off, and I had to fix it again. So for free, which is what I do if it doesn't work. So there you go. I'm a good man. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. So now I've got to take this apart. I'm hoping that these screws, you're never sure which direction these screws go, by the way. So I turn them with the hope that I'm turning them in the right direction. In this case, I don't friggin' know. And sometimes they're super tight. And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it when they're super, super tight. So these are the ones that worry me the most, because I don't want to crack the head off the screw while I'm trying to loosen it. And these screws are tight as hell. It's like they've been in there 1,000 years. Let me see, is there another screwdriver I can use? If these get too tight, I may use penetrating oil to try to get them open. So usually I don't need to, though. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is freaking crazy. I may work on other parts of the watch first. This is what happens when watches aren't worked on for multitudes of years. And I may have to lower my seat here to get closer to the part. But let's see if this will turn. Come on. Okay, that one worked. I got that one. So the big problem here is that if this watch, this is called the ratchet wheel, and someone told me the reason it's called the ratchet wheel is because this is the ratchet right here. So it helps. I'm going to use Rodico to pick this up. Look at that, eh? Good old Rodico, man's best friend. And the ratchet wheel, and so that means that this is called the crown wheel. And why? Because on the bottom part of this watch is a crown, and a very small crown. So I'm just going to see if I can get my screwdriver under here and convince it to go up. Got to be mindful of the gears that are here, so you don't want to stress the gears. I'm going to get an even smaller screwdriver here and work this up. Shouldn't take much pressure. There we go. That's good. That's going to go in the wash machine, so not a problem. So the ratchet wheel, I don't know which way this is going. Now there's a swirl on the top. Sometimes they put a swirl on there to make sure you turn it the correct way. And sometimes it depends on which direction the thingamajobby doohickey is. So this could be clockwise or counterclockwise. So I'll just grab it and give it a turn. And absolutely nothing is happening that way. So I'm going to turn it this way. And this is not good. Oh, there we go. Now you saw that. Okay, so this here loosens right. So you turn it the opposite way to loosen it. So that's, and really the swirls here I think tell you that, but I'm not absolutely sure. I know European watches that do that. The swirls. So this is not lefty-loosey, it's lefty-tighty, righty-roosey. Lucy. That's Lucille Ball if you're old enough and you're watching my channel. Righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. So Rodico is man's best friend. So it's good. Just take your piece of Rodico and pull the damn thing right up. And then you're going to get it out no problem, right? If you don't use Rodico to take it out, you could be challenging yourself. So I'm just going to grab these screws here and see if these are going to come out. So that's good luck. That one's coming out, which is nice. And then the second one is over here. And I usually leave the click spring in for cleaning. There's no need to remove it. So, and I've noticed over the years, like you can't, some of these parts are very difficult to source. So when you're getting into the setting mechanisms, a lot of watchmakers don't strip them down. And that's because when you put it through the cleaning machine, it cleans it just fine. And when you take it out, you just have to oil it properly. So oils well, that ends well. So you're looking for the groove here. Again, there's another little groove right there that you use to lift up the plate, and that's so you don't scratch anything. So you get the proper size screwdriver, put it in the groove, and then rotate like that. See that? And there should be a groove on this side as well, and that's there like that. So no problem. And then I go to the center part here, the center part, or as close as I can get, and lift it straight up like that. There we go. And I examined the jewels on this later on. As you can see, there's the watch and the jewels, and they probably look like they're in pretty good condition, but they're dirty. let's have a close-up here of the jewels. Center jewel looks pretty good. They're either good or destroyed, I find, the center jewel. And that's effectively a center wheel jewel. So in watchmaking, the barrel is wheel 1. Wheel 2 is a center wheel, and wheel 3 is an intermediate wheel right there. Needed for the watch gear mathematics. So I took out the cannon pinion, so the center wheel should just come right up like that. And then I won't bother taking I can take the balance straight up and then sideways like that. So there's not a lot of stuff going on there. And I'll take the balance spring off in this balance and put the balance, I'll walk that out. Maybe I'll show you how that walks out. And then I'll do this plate here. Yeah, these are loosening much better than the crown wheel was loosening. And I'm just going to look at the screws to make sure they're all the same, and they seem to be. Sometimes you can have screws that are different. I'm keeping my ugly face in view for this video, this disassembly video. Why? Why not? Why not? Oh me, oh my. I can hear noise downstairs, so I think the grandchildren are just running around. They're 10 and 6, so I'm not too scared. They're not like they were when they were younger. When they were younger, they were kind of running around screaming. So now they're almost adults. I think my son has them working in the slave factory at the house where they have to actually clean their room. Oh my God, right? And do things that kids don't do anymore. Again, oh my God. I should have taken a picture first, but I think it's starting there and working its way up. I'll try it out, pictureless. This one here, I should be able to slip sideways. There we go. Now, this is a fancy dancy bridge for the pallet fork. So that's called a bridge because it's got screws on both sides. If it's got only one screw, it's called a cock, like a balance cock. And that name just makes you giggle. That's all. Why didn't they just name it something else? Because it's probably named in England, right? And those British people, they've got spotted dick that you can have, right? Well, spotted dick is a dessert in England. It's like a pudding. It's a spotted dick. I've actually eaten it. And cold toast. If you want to go to England and eat cold toast, they take a piece of toast, they put it on a rack, and they cool the damn thing, right? They take your toast and they cool it. And then they give you cold toast. I'm looking on the edge to see if there's a place I can pull this up on. Hopefully there is. Anyway, they give you a piece of cold toast. Oh, nice. Thank you very much for the cold toast. I'm just going to go in the side here and see if I can just turn that a bit. Nope, not like there. And so when you get your cold toast, you just basically, I'm going to change screwdrivers. They butter it after it's cold. I've seen them butter cold toast. You know, well, would you like some toast? Like, yeah, can I have some warm toast? Is it possible to have warm toast instead of cold toast? So I'm going to have to get down a little. I'm going to shrink myself. You're going to see me shrink in a second, okay? See that? And then I'm going to just turn my hat backwards. And I keep my hat on because my head's frozen. And I need to get in really close here to see if I can loosen this. If there's I just need a crack to loosen this. Somewhere that's not in the way of anything. I can put my screwdriver in and twist it. And you want to make sure there's no stress on the pivot. The pivot. See, it even says NYPD in the back of my hat. That's in case you're following a cop, right? There's also a needle mark. Yeah. There's no obvious place to take this out. I think I just have to pick a place. I'm going to get even a smaller screwdriver. This is the smallest one I have, so it's kind of a orangey yellowy. I'm going to go right on the edge where the plate joins to the other plate. and see if I can get the screwdriver in there. There we go. Look at that. Eh? I got between the plates to move that screwdriver. There we go. And now I should be able to go in here very carefully and lift this up. Hopefully you're still in camera. There it is. So that's it there. And there's the part number on the back in case you want to go find the part. The jewels, it looks like there's a little mark on the jewel there, but these jewels very rarely have a crack on them. That looks like dirt. If I were to take a piece of Rodico and just tap that, I'll bet you any money. Dollars to donuts. If you've got, where does that term come from? Dollars to donuts. Can someone tell me, please? Look at that. It's gone. That big crack was just a piece of dirt. So it's gone. So dollars to donuts. I need to know where that term comes from. And I'm going to raise my chair up in a second because I feel really low. Normally I work at this height, but I started the video at a higher height. So I want to lift the fork out. And I want to be careful that I lift it straight up. It seems like it's kind of stuck in there. So I just play with it a bit until it lifts up. Don't force the parts. There we go. Got it. And there's the pallet fork right there. And it's in good condition. And there's the two pivots, and they're in good condition. There's no problems here at all. At all. And the watch, as far as I'm concerned, is stripped down. So I'm going to leave this in because of the way this is in a Hamilton, right? This, or is it? Let me see. Yeah, I don't want to. So there's my dilemma. So I could strip this all down, right? Take this off, take that off, take this off, take this off. But when I put it in the cleaning machine, all this stuff gets cleaned nicely. And then I let it dry. And usually I let it dry for at least a day. So it dries in the cleaning machine. And then I'll dry it for a day as well. And then once I've done that, this thing is good as gold, Jerry. It's good to go. Now this particular movement, that drops right out. So there's no problem. So I can just leave all these things where they are and clean the where the stem goes, right? The crown and anchor. Crown and anchor. That used to be a show or something. So now I can take these parts here and stack them. But before I stack them, I want to take the mainspring out. And I'm going to do this for you. So this mainspring has got a T on the end. If you look right there, that's where the T is. So these are my long guitar fingernails that I keep complaining about. But they're necessary. Right there. I was watching a dude. His name is Andre Segovia. He's probably, so you put your screwdriver right in the gap right there. You put it in and then you just rotate like that. And then the cap will come out, right? So Andre Segovia is notably by guitar players the best classical guitarist ever. So I think he started playing concerts when he was 12 years old, which is scary good. And I listened to some of his songs like Romance on Guitar, which is kind of cool. There is the mainspring. So here, what I'm going to do is take a quick picture of this mainspring so I know what direction it goes. So when I put it back and take it out and blah, 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 I don't forget. So there we go. Picture of the mainspring and picture of all the crap that's on the mat. Anyway, Andres, I watched him play one of his songs, and it's the one that has your thumbs going like da-da-da-da, and your fingers are going and I said, holy crap, I used to play that. And I did. When I was a youngin', I played that specific song, and I remembered every part of it, and I hadn't played it in years. Now, one thing I don't want to do is for this thing to fling out, and for me to lose the, I don't want to lose the arbor in the middle. So as I walk this out, I got to wait till it's safe, and then maybe if this flings out, then the arbor flings out, and then I lose the arbor hunting, which I don't want to do. So I'm going to try to very carefully pop the arbor out here. I want to see which way it's going here. It's right there, so if I just lift the spring up on this side, then the arbor should let go, right? Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah, the arbor doesn't want to let go. So I'm going to just walk it out really carefully. So here you're walking your fingers, as you can see. Maybe the bottom camera is probably the best one, not this one, but you're walking your fingers. Where's that other camera? Where'd it go? Where's the other camera? There it is there. I think it moved. So you walk it out like that, and that the arbor just wants to stay in the middle, and that's fine. And the spring is just getting caught on the T there, so just lift it up and move it out of the way. And then once I'm safe like that, I will I will take that arbor out. So now somebody told me, and you guys can confirm this as well, that if the spring is larger than the plate of the watch, which this one is, then it has enough strength left in it and you don't have to change the mainspring. I like it. So that is a good thing, right? So let me get up to my eyeball here and see if I can see what's going on with this arbor, because I want to take it out. Which means I got to go in there with a screwdriver very carefully and just nudge the arbor. I like the fact that it's in there good, but I don't want it to be, I don't want to lose it. So there we go. That's the mainspring arbor there. So I just so happen to have, I reach over underneath my curtains and stuff, keeping my solar watches. I got another basket right here. Look at that. Another complete basket, not a partial basket, a complete basket. I don't know why the hell they say that. So there it is. And that's for my Pearl watch cleaning machine. So I've got 2 baskets. Count them. 2. 1, 2. So I'm going to stack this basket while you're watching. I'm going to turn my video on and off so we don't lose the video. All right, I'm back. That was like 1/2 of a millisecond. So first thing I do, take the baskets out. Make sure there's no other watch in this basket. And in this basket, I've only got 2 of the mini containers, so that I'm not sure if that's a problem or not, but we'll stack it up and see what's going on. So first thing I do is put the main plate in there. This here, like that. Put that down like that. And I put the secondary upper main plate down like this. And I could do that facing down, but it seems to fit nicely like that. All the screws are the same size, which is nice. And put this one over on the side. This plate I could also put in the front or on the top, right? So it depends if the mainspring fits in there nicely. So I usually put the barrel in as well, because I'm not worried about losing anything here. And I can put the barrel arbor in as well, because it ain't going anywhere, and it's big and heavy. And I can put the stem in there too. Why not stack stuff in there, right? So that's good enough for that for now, because I got to put the mainspring in. So you put it in like that, and you got to make sure it's not so high up, that sounds Asian, that the other parts of the watch, that this basket doesn't fit on top. So there, that fits perfectly, no problem. So these 2 baskets here, I got to get 2 more of these baskets so I can have a full complement of basket. This is what I need, full complement of basket. And I just put a screwdriver in like that, like this, and then twist it like that, and then the basket comes open. Move it along the side, twist it again, and you got yourself an open basket, ladies and gentlemen. And in there, I want to put things that need to be washed. So I'll put the crown wheel in and its screw. And I do not want to put in, well, I could actually put in the ratchet wheel and its screw. And the reason why is the screw sizes are so different that I'll never mix them up. And I've got little tiny parts of the ratchet wheel, like that part there, that I want to throw in there too. Now, is there anything else I want to throw in there? Probably not. I don't want to put a gear in there. I just don't want to mix metals. So there, that's one. Put that down. And then the second basket, and turn that like this, turn that like this. And I think I would like, I'm not sure if I want to put that in there. What I want to put in there is this wheel here. right? And I don't want it slapping around against anything. So I may just leave it in just like that, because this is a very dainty wheel and you don't want it to get ruined. Actually, I might put the fourth wheel in there with it. So I put them in just like that, kind of integrated, right? Integrated. So there we go. Just put those two wheels in and don't mess with it. Now, if I had two more baskets, which are already being used on the other watch as it's drying, I went through the wash machine and now it's just sitting in the corner there and it's kind of drying. So now I can take these wheels and I can actually put them in the top compartment or the bottom compartment. Well, this one here I can put down here. So let's put them in the compartment here, and then I can take this here, which is the bridge for the balance, and put it in the center because I don't want it offset. And then these I can put on the other side, and so the weight is kind of offset. One thing I did notice is that this watch did not have a dial washer on the top. It usually goes over the hour wheel and it keeps the hour wheel down in a position so it doesn't hop up at all when you're dialing. And I can put in the cannon pinion as well. This is not going to fall through a hole, which is great. And because all the screws are exactly the same, right, I can put in the two screws. Those I don't think will fall through the hole because they're too small. I can put these two screws in with their mama, right? And then these ones here, these screws I can put in the outer limits. It's all about weight and balance. I think they're so small they're not going to cause a weight problem with this watch. So that's that, and then the dial screws, or the actual case screws, can go on the opposite side, and that'll counterbalance that. I never ever wash the pallet fork in the cleaning machine because I don't want any problems with the jewels. I hand wash the pallet fork, so it gets loving care like that, just like the balance does. So I got the balances over that way, and it's just sort of sitting there. So that's kind of it. And I got the hands here. The hands. There are no second hands with this movement, so it didn't come with second hands. So I'm going to do some second hand hunting. Second hand hunting, that's like Goodwill hunting. So I'm going to move the pallet fork way over the edge here with the hands, so I can keep the case on the side, and then I can keep the dial up there. And the other dial I was working on with the other watch, I can just put that right over the top. It requires a dial foot that I have to work on. So if I check the time right now, the time is, according with my very nice Chinese chronograph, it's straight up and down at 3 o'clock. If I look at the watch I just repaired, it's 3 o'clock. Ta-da! That is good news. I always like when I see that sort of thing. If I don't see it, then I got to take the watch apart, find out what the hell happened. So there's this. I put the cover back on this watch. I put the top on there, and then I'll show you what I do, just in case you have one of these cleaning machines. Here's my grill for the cleaning machine, and I can actually drop all this in at once, but I've got to have my fingers underneath like that. So I just take my hands and I put my fingers underneath to grab it. So it kind of goes down nice and easy, and then once it gets low enough, I can use the edge of my fingers to lower it, right? Get the bottom one down and then just rotate it just a bit to make sure it's snug, and then get the next one down and then rotate it as well. And then I lift it up with my finger on the top, and I just look around and see if there's any cracks, because you don't want to lose parts, because the cleaning machine actually compresses the top here, and then it goes through it hooks on here and compresses the top. The other thing I like to do with these is, I think it's fine that way. Yeah, I was going to say flip this lid around so it compresses the edge, but I really don't have a lot of small parts in there. So that's it. That's ready to rock and roll, and I've yapped my way all the way through this video. Really hoping you enjoyed it. So I'm JD. Welcome to my channel. I've been doing this for around 15 years, maybe 30. Likely 15, and it all started with a watch that wasn't working, a Seiko diver, with a 7R15 movement in it, and the watchmaker did not clean it, and it pissed me off. So I started saying, well, I should be able to clean watches. And that was so many years ago. And it was a 1980 Seiko dive watch that I still have. I cleaned it and it runs well. So there you go. So thanks a lot. Keep watching. Give me your comments. I'll put this one up right now so you can watch them all. Have a good night.